Welcome to Sharpman Academy. This is a platform for you to grow and advance your research writing skills. Subscribe and share with your friends and family. Share with everybody so that they can also join and follow the lessons. So we are still on research methodology section of project writing, and then we've been going through the various study designs that you can apply to your research writing. Today I'm going to teach you how to use the case series and then the case report designs. So with the case series and the case report, it is the first of human studies. So after animal and then laboratory studies is the first. So when you look at this pyramid, it starts with case reports or case series, which is a narrative review by expert opinion and then editorial. So this is the first of human studies. Then we come to the case control study, which is retrospective to subject error. It can also be a prospective. Then we come to the cross-sectional study through to cohort, randomized control trial, then meta-analysis, and then systematic review before we get to the clinical practice guidelines. So this is the structure for the study designs. Among all the human studies, it is the case report and the case series study that is the smallest among all, but not the least. It's the first among all of them. So with case report is a detailed report of disease, diagnosis, can be treatment, respond to treatment, and then follow up. So in case report, it is mostly conducted at the health facilities. So how patients are improving or responding to treatment, how many cases did you report to the DEMS, all those things are part of case report. So you report what happened. That is case report. And then also it involves detailed analysis of a single case with an individual. So mostly it is based on individual level. That's why I was saying that follow up on patients. So how your patient is responding to treatment. So that is case report. So let's say you have a patient who has been reported with malaria, and then you've put in the person on the malaria treatment, and then you are following the person to see how the person is responding to treatment. So whatever information that you generate, that become your case report on that particular patient. Then it usually reports a novel disease or health related outcome. Like I said, it is mostly conducted at the health facility base. So it reports on public health events, accident, the number of accident cases in the day, the number of malaria cases in the day, the number of COVID cases in the day. So that is the case report study design. Then with the case series is a retrospective and a non-comparative investigation that evaluates a group of patients with a known medical condition, a disease state, exposure, or who have undergo a similar procedure. So that one, it's also work on group of people with the same characteristics. So people who have gone through the same treatment procedure. So let's say there was a food poisoning at a food joint and then 20 people were affected. So you try to follow these people and then you analyze to see how many of them are responding to treatment. Then it becomes a case series. So we are moving to the next point of the case series. It involves series of cases which can be individuals, patients, or events that share similar characteristics or outcome, like I said. So looking at people with the same experience, who have been undergoing certain treatment. So let's say rehabilitation treatment, and then you are following them to see the their level of response and then their experience. So it becomes a case series. So in the analysis of case series, the data are being gathered from a range of variables, different variables. So it include the demographic characteristics, the symptoms of the disease, and then the treatment, the type of treatment that was given to the people, and then the outcome. So are the people responding to the treatment? So these are the types of variables that case report and then case series deals with. So with the suitable studies for case report and then case series design, it is good for rare or novel conditions, because here the disease is new in the system, nobody understands it. So it is best to use the case series. And then also the case series, it is good for few people. So when you are using it, it becomes very easy for you to monitor them. A new outbreak in a community, and then very few people are affected. You are able to monitor them by patient, so that you'll be able to know the cause and the outcome of the disease. And then also for clinical observations, so that time you can use this study to study the cause of a disease. So how the disease is being progressing, the latency period, the symptoms, and then the signs. It is good for clinical observations. And then retrospective analysis, so it analyze previous data, so data that have been already collected. It analyze those data. And then for explanatory research, like I said, it is for novel conditions. So sometimes you wouldn't understand the topic. There is no more information on that topic. So when you want to use case report and then the case series, it helps you to explore, get more knowledge about the topic that you are dealing with. And then it's good for pilot study. So when you are testing for effectiveness of a new policy or a new treatment, then it's good for pilot study. So I'll do a video on pilot study, how pilot study works, and then for surveillance and then monitoring. So you take data and then you monitor how the trajectory of a particular condition is. And then for adverse events and the investigation. So let's say you give a treatment to your patient and then there was an adverse condition. So it's also good for how the condition arised. Yes. And then also generating hypothesis for future research. So it gives you the space to generate more hypotheses that can use further studies to prove if it is positive or negative. So with the strength, it provides an in-depth analysis of a specific case or public health event. So it gives detailed analysis on whatever topic that you are working around. And then also useful for investigating unique and rare cases. It enhances hypothesis generation. So it gives you the space to come up with more hypotheses that need study to prove if they are positive or they are negative, and then provide valuable insight for clinical applications. So it is mostly used at the clinical setting, and then less cost and then time efficient. We don't spend more time, and then we don't spend more money on it. It is less costly. So with the limitations, it is limited to generalizability to the broad population. So because you are just working with 3 or 4 people, so you cannot generalize it to the general population. And then it may not be representative. Yes, it may not be representative. So because you are just using few people, so you can't say that most of the people in the community are this or that. It can also be biased to the author's perspective, because the person will feel that I am the one monitoring it. So if I do it this way or if I go that way, I will get more attention. Then they will put it in a way that will favor them. So sometimes there is bias in case reporting. And then it is often retrospective. So sometimes to incomplete and then inaccurate data can be taken. And then the statistical analysis of case series is often limited, because you can't analyze data on just 3 participants. You two people, you won't get any statistical inference. You won't get any statistical inference to back your study. And the case series is also susceptible to confounding variables. So there are a whole lot of confounding variables that might affect your study. So these are the limitations of case series and then case reports. So in case series and case reports, they are the first of human studies. They are the first study that include humans in their designs. And then it is mostly conducted at the health setting. So this is where I will end the case control, the case series and then the case reporting designs. So subscribe to Chapman Academy. You recommend Chapman Academy to everybody, and then they subscribe to learn new thing about research writing. Chapman Academy, see you there.